In the headlines this morning, Governor Obiano honors ABS Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer Nwora for outstanding performance. State government reinstates commitment to partnership with church. Federal government appoints new managing director for FAN. Now the foreigners in this morning, Indonesia's court sentences Frenchman to death for drug smuggling. Amebere Ugonna. Governor Willie Obiano has presented commendation certificate to the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of Anambra Broadcasting Service, Chief Nwora, for dedication and sterling performance. Government House correspondent A.J. Kiabana reports that Governor Obiano, who presented the special award to Chief Nwora at the State Executive Chambers during the State Executive Council meeting, reinstate resolve to launch the ABS on the DSTV platform. His report.
According to Governor Obiano, Chief Nwora merits the award because he has transformed the ABS media organization, which he said has justified the amount of resources and efforts put into the station. He urged him to sustain the tempo of excellence as his government is poised to do more for the station in preparation towards launching the station on the DSTV platform, as well as 24-hour broadcasting, calling on the staff to continue to give him the needed support.
I have no doubt in my mind that we can make this on DSTV that people know that they are putting in the effort.
Chief Nwora, who appreciated the governor and members of the State Executive Council for the honor, pledged to justify the confidence reposed in him. He also thanked his family, including his wife and children, staff and management of the ABS, noting that their sacrifices helped in the successes recorded so far.
I feel encouraged, I feel honored, and also very grateful to God and also to His Excellency Chief Willie Obiano. This award and this honor is, I think I'll dedicate this to my wife and my children because, working in Anambra State, has led to long absence, from the family. The family has suffered in a way, but also to all the staff of Anambra Broadcasting Service.
Recall that during Governor Obiano's parley with select staff of ABS recently, the governor promised to present the commendation certificate to Chief Nwora for his efforts in the station. From the State Executive Chambers, Government House, Oka, A.J. Kiabana, ABS News.
And moving on, the Anambra State Deputy Governor has received an award of excellence from the Catholic Men Organization, CMO, St. Anthony's Catholic Church in Ugukwu, Njikoka, Council area. The award was in recognition of the supportive role of the Deputy Governor to the Obiano government, which the group observed that the church at heart at all times. Emmanuel Okonkwo has details.
Receiving the award, Deputy Governor KK thanked the church for such recognition and reiterated that the present government will continue to partner religious bodies in the state for greater achievements. Earlier in a homily, the parish priest of St. Anthony's Catholic Church in Ugukwu, Reverend Father Evaristus Ezebonna, reminded Christians of the importance of showing love to fellow human beings as commanded by Christ, pointing out that Christianity is incomplete without agape love, which Christ demonstrated on the cross. The priest further reminded Christians of the realities of heaven and hell, which he said every human must choose one for eternity through the type of life he lives while on earth. The Sunday service featured presentation of the award to the Deputy Governor by the parish priest, Reverend Father Evaristus Ezebonna, and renditions by the choir. From St. Anthony's Catholic Church in Ugukwu, in Njikoka local government area, I am Emmanuel Okonkwo, reporting for ABS News.
The Anglican Diocese of Awka has thrown its weight behind the calls to restructure the country. It noted that this is the only way to guarantee national integration. This part of the resolutions of the Church as contained in its communique after its third session of the 11th Synod of the Church held at St. Jude's Anglican Church, Adaziani, an Archer local government area. Amakachi Uzokoye has the report.
Sixth 8-point communique asks President Muhammadu Buhari to act very fast to save Nigeria from the prevailing state of dependency and what it's called imminent disintegration. It, however, called on Nigerians to remain positive and prayerful for the nation. On the state of the state, the Synod commended Governor Willie Obiano for his prompt action in ensuring security of lives and property in the state, regular payment of salaries, while resolving to continue to pray for the governor to lead the state on the path of peace and equity in all areas of governance. The communique signed by the Bishop of the Diocese and President of Synod, Right Reverend Alexander Ibezim, and the Clerical Synod Secretary, Venerable Clement Mbemena, regretted the recurring attacks on Nigerians in South Africa and urged governments at all levels to take urgent actions to nab the xenophobic attack in the bud.
To help Christians remain fully aware that they are born again and to always be careful not to lose their salvation. May we never lose our individual salvations in the mighty name of Jesus Christ.
Amaka Chibuzo Okoye, ABS News.
Orumba South Local Government Area has set up a Local Government By-Law Review Committee, LGRC, an indication of interest to benefit from the World Bank Assisted Community and Social Development Project, CSDP, executed by the Anambra State Community and Social Development Agency. Based on this, the Anambra State Community and Social Development Agency yesterday organized a one-day sensitization meeting of traditional rulers, president generals, women and youth leaders from the council area to intimate them on how to effectively benefit from the project. Ebeleze reports that the meeting, which took place at the council's headquarters in Munze, drew participants from 13 out of the 15 communities that make up the council area. Her report.
Declaring the meeting open, the Transition Committee Chairman, Orumba South Local Government Area, Barrister Raymond Onyegu, appealed for special intervention at their Zone 4 farmland, which, according to him, lacks access road for evacuation of farm produce. Barrister Onyegu, who described the project as a bottom-top approach to development, urged people of the council area to grab the opportunity with both hands, as it does not come often.
It's a very laudable project because community development is the only way you can spread development and the way you reduce the congestion you have in the major cities by making the local areas habitable.
The General Manager, Anambra State Community and Social Development Agency, Mr. Chudimoji, who urged communities that want to benefit to write what he called letter of interest and forward to their office in Awka. Mr. Mojeku, who noted that Anambra State Community and Social Development Agency commenced work last year in 5 poorest local government areas in the state with so much progress, announced that Orumba South Local Government Area is among the 7 local government areas recently listed to benefit.
For now, to implement World Bank Assisted Community and Social Development Project, CSDP. First original CSDP, but ended before
Taking participants on Community Development Plan, CDP, and Group Development Plan, GDP, the main basis for funding, the Operations Manager, Mrs. Uche Nwizubo, emphasized that each development plan should contain minimum of 2 micro projects that will not exceed 10 million naira. She described CDP and GDP as the major tools for the implementation of CSDP and identified Local Government Review Committee as clearinghouse, assuring communities of their readiness to assist them in perfecting their CDPs and GDPs. In their various speeches, some of the participants, including the traditional ruler of North Fija, Igwe Clifford Okeke, represented by Chief Ben Esiobu, Ihite Community Woman President General, Mrs. Ndidiamaka Obaja, and the Orumba South National Youth Council Coordinator, Comrade Kingsley Nadi, listed construction of access routes, town halls, markets, health centers and quarters for doctors and nurses, schools, and numerous others as their areas of priority.
My community will benefit most from group development plan.
I'm going to give an assurance of, let me say, 95%, because I'm sure the people of Anambra South actually needs those things, so I'm not ready to vandalize anything.
With this one-day sensitization meeting, communities in Orumba South local government area are from now expected to forward to the Office of Anambra State Community and Social Development Agency their community development plans and group development plans for review and approval. From Umuze, the council headquarters of Orumba South local government area, I am Ebele Eze, reporting for ABS News.
And moving on to our national stories now, President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the appointment of Mr. Rabiu Yadudu as the new Managing Director of the Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria, FAN. This is contained in a statement by Mr. James Odaudu, Deputy Director, Press and Public Affairs of the Ministry of Transportation in Abuja. According to Odaudu, the new MD, who is a flight captain, will take over from the erstwhile Managing Director, Mr. Saleh Dunoma, a certified engineer. The appointment takes immediate effect. Until his new appointment, Yadudu was the Director of Airport Operations of FAN. And on business news, the nation's economy expanded more slowly in the first quarter of 2019 than it did in the fourth quarter of last year, the National Bureau of Statistics said. The International Monetary Fund had, in its World Economic Outlook update released in January, revised down the country's gross domestic product projection for this year to 2% from the 2.3% projected in October 2018. The NBS, in its GDP report for the first quarter of 2019, said the GDP grew by 2.1% in real terms in the first quarter compared to 2.38% in the fourth quarter of 2018. Compared to the first quarter of 2018, which recorded real GDP growth rate of 1.89%, the first quarter of 2019 growth rate represented an increase of 0.12 percentage points. Now, the foreign scene, an Indonesian court has sentenced Frenchman Felix Dauphin to death for drug smuggling, a surprise verdict after prosecutors asked for a 20-year jail Dauphin, 35, was arrested in September, carrying a suitcase filled with about 3 kilograms of drugs, including ecstasy and amphetamines, at the airport in Lombok, a holiday island next to Bali, where foreigners are routinely arrested on drug charges. While prosecutors had not asked for the death penalty, Indonesian courts have been known to go beyond their demands. He cited Dauphin's involvement in an international drug syndicate and the amount of drugs in his possession as aggravating factors. The Frenchman made headlines in January when he escaped from a police detention center and spent nearly 2 weeks on the run before he was captured. A female police officer was arrested for allegedly helping Dauphin escape jail in exchange for money. On sports news, Metropolitan College Onitsha and Community Secondary School Uga have qualified for the final round of the state Under-17 football tournament organized by Anambra State government. Metropolitan College Onitsha secured their place in final with a 2-1 win over their rival Bobendorf Memorial Grammar School, others in Nuku, while the match between Community Secondary School Uga and Nnamdi Azikiwe Secondary School Abagana ended 1-0 in favor of Community Secondary School Uga. Correspondent Valentine Mbadewe now reports.
Addressing the media shortly after the match, the chairman, Anambra State Sports Development Commission, Mr. Tony Oli, under whose watch such tournament is being organized for the first time, expressed satisfaction with the performance of the teams, both in characters and in the physical exercise of playing their games. Mr. Oli, while congratulating the winners, encouraged them, including those that lost, to be more committed in their games, as any of them could be among those who will represent Anambra State in the forthcoming National Sports Festival.
You know, last year when we went there, it was like a joke, and I told them, by the time we are coming back this year, we are going to come with a quality team. And with the things that has happened, and my coaches are around, you know, pinning down the names of the, you know, the players that, you know, are doing it very well. So in the next 1 month, we are going to call, you know, these young lads to come, you know, the ones that we select.
The finals of the Under-17 football tournament, which will bring to an end the 2018-2019 football season, will be on the 27th day of May 2019, as the venue is yet to be decided by the Commission. From Otuacha, Valentine Mbadoga reporting for ABS News.
Well, and that's it on the news at 7. But remember that you can follow news and programs on ABS from any part of the world by liking our Facebook page at ABS Radio Television, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/ABS Radio TV Online, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at ABS Radio TV. You can also log on to our website www.absradiotv.com. And just before we go this morning, a quick recap of our top stories. Gov Obiano has honored ABS Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer Nwora for outstanding performance. State government has reinstated commitment to partnership with church. Federal government has appointed new Managing Director for FAN. On the foreign scene, we brought to you that an Indonesian court has sentenced a Frenchman to death for drug smuggling. And that's the size of our package this morning. Many thanks for joining the bulletin. I'm Berry Ugonna. Good morning, Anambra. Continue shortly. Please stay with us.